Alright, Building America and track welding procedure rules. General instruction, safety, electrical welding, oxy fuel equipment to welding, rail ends, welding, switch points, frogs, general repairing carbon, turnout, cross diamond frogs, repairing magnesium, turnout crossing frogs, thermite welds, railroad tech, botet, thermite welds, orgothermite, electrical flash butt welding, switch maintenance, grinding, and definitions, appendix A. 100. General rules. Employees responsibility carry instructional lists assigned with the duty of electrical welding, thermite welding, electrical flash butt welding, oxy fuel equipment of operation, abrasive wheel, cutting and grinding, reporting other duties, qualification welders, help with the requalification, rail identification, rail branding, rail stamping, hydrogen elimination, rail chemistry identification component, installation marking, reference mark with rail bound wire, torch cut, rail ends, butt holes, torch cut, rail ends, torch cut holes, deburring, butt holes, guard rails, electrical arc weld, rail ends. 101, 100.1. Employees responsible for the following instructions that differ with the Unified Union Pacific Railroad standard of the FRA guidelines rules outlined with the track welding was potentially harmful to save the operation of the rails most probably with the intention of the manager of the track welding when Union Pacific Railroads are more restrictive than FRA Union Pacific rules will be followed. 101 carrying instructions. Welding manager, supervisor, track instruction, track maintenance, foreman, track welders, helpers for the grinder, operators must have the current copy of the track welding rules described with the document track welding rules. Proceed with the inspecting welding, grinding rail track components readily available. 102 list of the assigned duties. Electrical worn welding, repair buttered chipped rail ends, repair worn damaged rail bounding magnesium turnout frogs, repair worn damaged bolt bridge frogs, repair worn damaged self-guard magnesium frog, repair spring frogs only allowed in rules, repair crossing frogs, repair switch points only allowed in rules. 102.2 thermite welding, install standard gap welds, various manufacturer installed wide gap welds, various manufacturer installed head repair welds, various manufacturer. 102.3 electrical flash butt welding, operate in-track welders. 102.4 oxy fuel equipment operation, operate all oxy fuel cutting equipment, oxy fuel heating equipment. 102.5 abrasive wheel cutting and grinding, operate grinding equipment, use the prevent grinding, operate all grinding equipment, use the track welding repairs, and operate all abrasive saws, use to cut the rail. 102.6 reporting, complete all time, keep it production reports required with a complete cut in, cut out, with service failure of the applicable. 102.7 other duties tamped tight with the necessary for the repair, longevity, safe with the training, with the operation, complete with the tighten track with the frog bolts, part with the repair with the necessary, safe with the train operation, install, replacement, repair with the insulate with the joint plugs as required before welding. 103 qualification welders, welders and helpers must be the commercial driver license for the Department of Transportation requirements to the position at least once applied with the work location qualified under FRA 217 AB must qualify the manager for the track welding supervisor official oxy fuel welding equipment. Employers must be qualified to perform job specific welding process with qualification will consider the training skill of the assessment qualification period is 3 years required with the Union Pacific Railroad. Part of qualification employee may work with a direct supervision qualified employee. 103.1 requalification every 3 years. Employees should be requalified using oxy-fuel welding equipment weld processes. 104 rail identification, rail branding. Branding appear with the rails led with the rail web and identified with the rail weight with the section manufacturer's name and the year of the month rolled. 104.2 rail stamping. The rail stamping is imprinted with the character of the web rail with the opposite of the branding side. Show the head hardening, heat number, the ingot number, the head hardening may be designated with the channel of the brand size. 104.3 hydrogen elimination. General the rail manufacturer hydrogen is removed to reduce the internal defects table. 100A to identify the process for during hydrogen elimination. CC control cooled, CH control cooled, end hardening, BC control cooled blooms, BT vacuum treated, O3 other practices. 104.4 rail chemistry identification. Rail chemistry determine specifically maintenance of the welding requirements. Refer to table 100B, 100C to determine whether rail is allowable and alloy manufacturing brand stamping chemistry type. You'd have chromium, palladium, high silicon, chromium silicon, and chromium vanadium. 100C non-aluminum alloy. You have fully hardened treated head hardened standard strength, head hardened standard strength. And then it keeps going. 105 component installation. 105.1 component installation mark with the installation date should be made with a white metal marker with the following track components: frog, guardrails, spring frog, retarders, switch points, stock rails, I-bonds, Installation due to the issue with the verified warrant claims track component longevity. 106 reference mark. Placing rail reference marks are method of controlling the amount of the rail added to the strip track with the continuous welded rail territory. Reference marks must be utilized with the cutting continuous welded rail for any reason. In this case, the rail separation, pull apart with the defect with the part repair with the rail change out or the track panel installation reference mark, which should always indicate the original distance between the marks before the rail break of the pull apart occurred. These type of the references mark give the man for the continuous welded rail event spanning reference marks give the surface failure with the pull apart with the detector card defect with the tracks panel with less than 80 foot. Refer to section 7 in the engineering track maintenance field handbook. Pull back reference marker give the rails change out greater than 80 foot less than equal to 360 feet. Track panels greater than 80 foot less than equal to 360 feet. Refer to section 7 in the engineering track maintenance field handbook. Match men's used in rail change out greater than 360 feet. Refer to section 4 in the engineering track maintenance field book. For complete instructions including examples, they refer to current version engineering track maintenance field handbook. 107. The rail bonded wire. Remove the rail bonded wires by grinding only. Use chisel or hot cut with the remove of the rail bonds is prohibited. Do not electrical arc weld bond wires onto rail. 108. Torch cut rail ends, bolt holes, and torch cut rail ends. Torch cut rail ends must be recut with a resolve before the training movement that allow thermite electrical flash for the unbutt welding. Torch cut rail ends prohibit the rail ends of the cut with the oxy-fuel torch will be trimmed with the back at least 1/4 inch down with the 15 minutes for the initial torch cut with all indication when the torch cut must be removed. If the rail end recut with the rail saw within 15 minutes of the torch cut, additional 2-inch rail must be removed to get it beyond with the thermal heat crack. Single rail must be cut square before both vertical and horizontal rail ends being thermite weld with a combined deviation more than 18 inch must be recut. Visually inspect the rail end split web other defects of saw cutting. 108.2 torch cut holes. Rail with the torch cut holes prohibited in the track. Any hole cut in a rail must be cut with a rail saw no less than 2 inches for the torch cut. And 109 deburring butt holes. Butt holes must be deburred and bubbled immediately after drilling complete with the appropriate grinding tool. Butt holes must be deburred before railing ends will welded. Visually inspect all butt holes for the cracks before welding. Guardrails. Follow these steps with guardrails. Requirement to do not weld with the guardrail face on the field. To replace the worn, damaged guardrails. Use the shop repair reconditioned guardrails on any track only after they have been inspected approved for use. 111 electrical arc weld rail ends on main track sliding rail ends that have been previously electrical arc welded are prohibited from being thermite welded on rail manufactured after 1975 on an alloy rail. 101 safety.